I'm going to pat the soil down firmly, and for those of you that think you don't have a green thumb, this is the color it needs to be. That's real gardening.
Master gardener Robert Beyer has been in love with plants forever. When he and his wife Lana moved from Houston to Austin in 2006, Bob welcomed this brand new domain of botanical exploration.
Just the fun of collecting and finding new and different things, and somehow finding a place to put them in the garden without making the garden look completely out of kilter. I call the backyard a mini botanical garden.
In front, Robert goes for a profile that works for the neighborhood, but adventures beyond the usual cast of characters. It's in back that he constantly experiments with its microclimates. Though mostly in sun for now, he takes advantage of what shade he gets. In each area, he wants to encounter a distinct botanical revelation. Since wildlife is important too, they garden organically and design niches for secretive residents.
That's how we design different areas, so that there's a certain flow as you walk around the garden, and each is almost like a little surprise area.
For Lana, it can be a surprise every day, since Bob's garden can change overnight when a plant grabs his attention.
It's like the thrill of the hunt, always trying to find something a little different, that someone else might not have, that I can enjoy in the yard. It's not an ego thing, it's just the excitement of finding something that's new and different. Maybe a plant in a miniature form or an unusual growth form, a very unusual coloration to it. It may be a cultivar of a very commonly known species.
Lana puts it all into perspective.
Basically, when you have one of everything, it's hard to find combinations of plants that look well together, and that's where I depend on Lana a great deal. She has a real eye for design, and I'm just terrible at it. So I have the knowledge of the plants and how big they're going to grow and what to expect from them, and I share that with her, and she helps me put them in some sort of fashion where you can take a collection of one of each type of plant and make it look like it blends together, or it is homogenized.
He's being a little bit modest. He loves to show off his yard, and I love to meet people. So he attracts them, and then I get to talk with them.
Lana also spends part of her free time knitting for Threads of Love. But she has her own spot in the garden too. Bob likes her seasonal color just fine, though his passion now heads in another direction.
40% of the plants that I grow are variegated because I like different unusual cultivars and varieties of plants. I like to see a lot of color in the yard when things are not in bloom. Most plants go through a blooming cycle. Once the blooms are gone, there's not much to look at. I want to see something to look at, even in the dead of winter.
Bob's been quick to adapt from his Houston ways.
I'm not a glutton for punishment. I won't put in plants that I'm going to have a really, really difficult time trying to grow. I try to grow plants that are adaptive to this area. And if you'll notice, the lawn is looking terrible right now because of the drought that we've had. We just didn't feel that we could justify wasting water on maintaining a beautiful green lawn.
But it's good enough for active grandkids that don't have to worry about where they run. From their deck, Lana and Bob can keep an eye on them and the garden.
I like to be able to look out and enjoy the fruits of his labors.
Of course, Bob found the perfect microclimate on the deck for experiments in containers. One of them is his mini pond for lilies that bloom in season. Bob waters container plants from his rain barrel to reduce mineral residue in the pots. To overwinter tender plants, he installed his latest greenhouse against the house. Mainly, it's where he starts new ones to share with other gardeners or to propagate cuttings when he can't protect a tropical through frost.
For example, if a shrub, a tropical plant gets too large, I can propagate a cutting of it and keep the cutting for next year. And I like downsize my plants continually to keep them small enough to fit in the very limited garden space that I have.
When Bob's not in the garden, he's on the computer. Along with his website, where he details plant information, he blogs about his latest endeavors.
It's sharing your love for gardening and for horticulture with others in a way in which you're not expecting anything in return. You know, it's non-commercial. It's attempted. I'm trying to use the knowledge that I've gained from being a master gardener, from having a degree in horticulture, and from studying plants myself. I want to share that with others, and I think that's a great way to do so.
Bob's also volunteered his talents to Zilker Botanical Gardens newsletter. His camera has become as vital to his gardening gear as his pruners and shovel.
But when I stroll through the garden and I see what I've got here, believe it or not, I start thinking, what can I do next year?
He loves to dig. He won't wear gloves. He loves to get his hands in the dirt, and he loves to dig, and he loves to move things around. And so that's where I'll step in sometimes when he gets a little carried away with that. He killed a sage, which are hard to kill because he moved it too many times in one growing season. But he does love to dig. He is happiest when I think he's a true gardener in that sense. He's happiest when he's got his hands in the dirt.
So just stick it in there. Got it down firm, and I'll give it some root stimulator in just a little while. I think of what's this garden going to look like next year. I'm always thinking ahead because I know it's going to change. The way the garden looks this year is very different from the way it looked last year and the year before that, and it'll look different again next year.